Greetings, family. We're live on Revolutionary Cam. Bomani Tayamba and Kofi Bruce. How's it going, my brother?
It's good. It's good. What's going on?
All right, perfect. We just watched a short video with Trump, and this is just very, very terrible. But read it. President Trump made a decision this past week that will have a profound effect on the lives of about 4,000 Liberian immigrants. They have taken refuge in the U.S. from their war-torn country since the 90s. Now Trump have given them up to a year to pack up and return to Liberia or risk being deported. That's it. That's it, family. So that's what the video was about, and this is live on your networks, and that's the reality where we come back to talk about Africa for the Africans. Now, I can definitely side with people where they feel like they don't want to leave, but that's why we have to build Africa for the Africans to where we have the factories we need, the corporate buildings, the operations, the organized, this full operations of running a nation to where it could sustain us as a people. We're at the point where we're seeing more and more people being more and more people that's being, literally deported. Yeah. Literally, you see different bills and things being signed in place. And it's what we always talk about, in our consciousness, that it's one of those situations where we keep thinking that we are gonna be all in one with these people, and they're gonna just make it to where we have all these equal opportunities, and we just have to just get away from being delusional. We talk about the President Obama syndrome, as far as we all want America. That's falsification right there. We talk about Martin Luther King, as far as I Have a Dream, that concept. But the reality of it is, none of those things work for us as a people.
Not at all.
And I feel bad for the folks, because one of the things is, yes, their country's not going through civil war, but now what happened when you have an influx of people that return? Are you going to have the same civil conflict? Or is this devil doing this on purpose just to cause, because we know he just does things just to cause drama?
But let's go back to the beginning and explain who these 4,000 Liberians are. So apparently they were granted full immunity to come to the United States and get jobs and everything and stay because of the civil war that was going on in Liberia at that time, right?
Absolutely.
So you remember what year this was?
This is in the 1990s.
In the 1990s, who was the president? Was it Bill Clinton? I can't remember.
That's how much I don't keep up with the president. I apologize, family. It's I want to say.
But I was just saying that
it was a Bush or a Clinton. We know that.
So we could go to like the starting point to see why they actually brought these people here in the first place, to understand like why all of a sudden they're not going to renew it. So apparently Trump is not signing a new bill, right? That's what the issue is. It was already a bill in place. They already had a deal in place
to take them in, and
and now it's not going to be renewed.
It's been expanded also. It's been extended a few times.
Okay, so a couple of other presidents extended it.
Yeah, these presidents we're talking about, it's only two. You had the Bush and the Clinton administration, and that's pretty much it. Now you have. Number 45,
and he's not going to extend it.
Absolutely.
So what that mean? Does that mean that at a certain date, from my understanding, these 4,000 Liberians just have to leave? They have
absolutely.
To get out.
And the article we talk about, family, he said by 2019. So these are things that I'm not saying that all of these things are going to go down, and I'm not looking to get in detail about the articles. That's never our point.
Is there a reason why?
And that's a good question. The reason why is Mr. 45 believed that their country is stable, and that he's basically trying to clean house to bring in the people that he wants to bring in to make his perfect perfect nation. That's what I see.
Did he make that clear as a reason why he's not extending it if it's already been extended by previous presidents?
Yeah,
or he just said,
you're saying that their country is stable and they can return, and he's not looking at the 85% unemployment rate. He's not looking at a bunch of things. But my point is, like, he doesn't care with people, and we definitely have a lot of our wonderful brothers that break down other theories that we're not going to break down because that's not what we do. So it's a nice list of information that's on the article, and it goes back and it talks about the different extensions, and it talks about in details about the Civil War and the reason why it was extended and so on. But my point is, if we really did what we were supposed to do as Black African people, we could have been like, hey, brothers and sisters, y'all don't have to petition or plead to these devils, because now they're like, we got them now. Now look at they just begging us to stay in our country. They just, they can't do without us. So it's like, those are things that I'm looking at, when we just analyzing the article and the situation that's going on, that's all we're doing. So we're like, back again when we talk about Marcus Garvey, and we talk about us building a strong Black continent Africa, to where we have the things in place to where, even if you're not able to take in 4,000 people in one country, you have several nations.
So Liberia is actually a country that was started by the United States, right?
Absolutely. And for Africans to return.
So do they give Liberia support?
You know what? These people got their deals and things going, but right now they ain't giving no support. They're like, we're done with this.
Did they ever contribute to the economy to help stabilize it, like from the beginning, to make sure it actually grew into something, or did they say?
They have their investments the way they do things, the way they just end up sucking the economy. Versus
I have to do more research on the actual what was going on the ground in Liberia at that time when they sent back the first so-called slaves that were here. Like what actually?
Yeah, it's an interesting story. Now I have a few books that entail, and what we would have to do is go through a lot of these books and share things, because the history gets so deep, and it all points back to the same thing as far as just when things happen. When we don't have a strong continent, then more and more drama happens.
Right. Like we've been taught that lesson over and over and over again. It's like, when we gonna get it?
Yeah. So right now I do see a few moves. Not saying that we're dependent on the African Union and everybody, but you do need that structure of body to put things in place. So the different agendas with railroad connection, open of trade, and so on. That's definitely makes a whole world of a difference. So. Family, those are things that we as a people have to focus on, because when we turn around, at any moment, any of us could be a victim of it, and it's just a blatant target. We're gonna find whatever I can do to get rid of as many Black people as possible, get rid of as many, folks, and then, lock our borders. Whatever their plan is. I'm not gonna say that I know all of their plan, and my brother Kofi Boost is gonna, do you know all of their plans? We see a certain trend.
Yeah, I know to look for their plans, because I know they're always thinking. I know they're always thinking and plotting something. So you have to be aware of that, first of all, so you won't get caught blindsided. So you just have to ask yourself questions. And second, it just boils down to that Africa is the breadbasket of the world still. There's so many minerals there. Like, everybody's in Africa just taking all types of things about the ground and not taking care of Africa.
Exactly.
So Africa is for African people to take care of, take accountability of, and make it grow back into what it's supposed to be, which is the actual Garden of Eden, what they call in Christianity. So, so that's all we mean by Pan-Africanism. We have to make Africa great again.
Absolutely, that's the words right there.
Because there's no other place on earth like it that the whole world sucks out of. And we're just sitting there giving them mostly everything, and we're not taking care of it, first of all. And second of all, we're not getting any gain from giving out Africa to everyone and not taking care of it ourselves. So it's Africa for the Africans at home and abroad. Even if you're not on the African continent, you still Africa. You know what I'm saying? So, if you Black in the skin, then you African, you have to accept that. Or, if you don't want to accept it, read some of the books we mentioned before,
Well, number 45 know that we're Africans, because he's like, Yeah, it doesn't matter if you've been here from you were 1 or 2 years old.
I mean, but we know they're gonna do wrong from our point of view anyway, so we should be expecting
it's
that.
like you're an African, go back to Africa.
Yeah, that's why our focus should be us.
You know? Exactly.
That's why our focus should be us.
So I'm just giving you, family, the different things that are going on that this keeps on happening. You know, we talked about Jamaicans, Haitians, and different groups of people being deported more than they've been deported before. So it's like obvious that, you know, folks want to clean house and get rid of as many folks. And then he's talking about mass shooting and mass incarceration, and you know, you go on and on. I don't want to be the one to just be here complaining or gossiping, you know, because most of the time we spend the majority of our time working. We just like to just share certain consciousness and details, and we spend most of the time strategizing and putting things in place, investing and doing business, because you know, I don't have a beef with people marching and everything, but you know, we do have to do more effective strategies. You know, sometimes just crying and complaining and beefing and marching is not going to do it.
I mean,
but
like most of the time when we march, are we marching for ourselves? Are we marching to appease someone or to get someone to listen to our story? Or are we marching to say, this is what we take it from you, this is what we taking you back? You know, most of the time is,
maybe they want people to sympathize with them. The Liberians that are marching, since we're on this topic of Liberians, you know, they're marching and hoping that people can sympathize with them. So they're reaching out to President Obama, and they're reaching out to different people who can influence change. And you know, and like I said, I side them because you know, it's like you tell people a year to get up and uproot themselves and everything, and they've been, you know, but you know, the reality of it is that's the power that these people have, you know, to change our lives and just that quick at the same time, that quick. And we should never take any of it for granted, like, you know, like that, you know, oh, I'm 20th generation African American and my ancestors came over and they was on a cotton field and a plantation, and you people from the Caribbean, I just came over to America, and you know, and you know, it's just a bunch of nonsense. Be realistic. They are not looking. They're looking. You know, they'll find one way or another. They might just say, "Hey, African Americans, we stole y'all for 400 years, and you know, we feel very bad about it."
Mm-hmm.
As a matter of fact, Bush and Trump and you know the rest of the presidents, the Clintons, they're like, we really feel bad about it. We have all come together to make this agreement to where we can get you guys back home. Yay! Africans going back home. So all you African Americans and everybody else that's been here for all these generations, and we're gonna give you a nice little compensation. That's how nice we're gonna be, and we're gonna send you off, and hopefully one of the African countries accept you. So that's the reality of the crazy things that can happen, and not saying that any of those things are gonna happen, you know, but we have to stop playing from behind and start being strategic. So there's a lot of investment opportunities, a lot of travel, a lot of wonderful things going on in African continent. I always talk about Ghana because I've been there, you know, I've been there 13 times and coming up to be there the 14th time, and it's going to be like the additional group coming up and make us about 320 different people that we're connected to the continent, and just looking to use more of that energy to get, you know, because we have had people also to live there and they're still there doing business and things, and the goal is to build a stronger energy with more of us to where we can make those direct influence to where, you know, governments and local energies in different countries can see the importance of the African diaspora, whether it's first or second generation of folks from, you know, Nigeria, Ghana or so on, or whether stolen Africans like myself and my brother Kofi Bruce, you know, stolen and dropped off at different locations, you know, America and Jamaica, and that's the reality of the situation. You know, that's why we don't get into all these divisions about this and that and get into all that beef. No, we're not about that, because too many times we as black African people divide ourselves. I'm this, I'm that, and everything, and you know, so we bound by the common energy of Africa, and that's why we say family, Africa for the Africans, for those of home and those abroad.
And stop perpetrating the fraud. Most of the time we perpetrate the fraud that our enemy told us. That's why we against each other. Our enemy told us black America is not supposed to like Jamaicans and vice versa, and people on the African continent. Like, our enemy taught us that.
Exactly, like you hear about the energy of this brothers and sisters coming from the African continent, and they're being told to stay away from those black folks in America.
Right.
And you know, they're talking about all of us, the black folks in the Caribbean that comes to America, and the black folks,
right.
African Americans, and you know, and it's like, and it's this constant division and constant foolishness. So
you know what I think about though,
right.
like in just based on what you just said, the type of Africans, the majority that we meet and we ran into had that type of attitude you just said. You know, I need to stay away from Black Americans because y'all this, y'all that, y'all this. But when we go to Africa, they don't have that mind state.
Not at all.
You know, it's like totally different. So it's like the people that they allowed to come over, maybe they coming over for a specific reason. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, they want the best brainwash. You know,
Right.
A person.
Because you know we never meet those people when we go over there. You know they all like my brother.
Yeah,
You know?
you meet very few people that are very conscious, but most of the time folks are playing a safe game and they're wanting to keep away from those black folks in America. They're too little radical, and all they do is complain and they do this and that. But family, you ever heard of gossip and things? So once again, family, visit our website africaforafricans.org and join one of our Pan-African tours. Link with the different aspect of videos and information that we have online. And then just build that energy to see how you can be a part of the future of Africa, because at the end of the day, that's all we have. If the white folks in Europe decide to kick us out of Europe, and the white folks in America decide to do the same by whatever reasons and whatever ways they figure it out, where do we literally have to go to?
Right.
I mean, let's be realistic. There's only one place, man.
Right.
The land of the black people.
Right.
So all you fake ass people talking about you're not black, you're not all this. Hopefully your oppressors and the devils have mercy on you, because they know who you are. I mean, because they know where they stole you from, and they know the history that they hid from you. And that's why we bust with them books earlier. So my brother Kofi Bruce, you have anything to say in closing before we go up?
Just piggyback on what you said. You know, just go out to the people that never been to Africa. If you've been to Africa, I know you already know, and you probably been back already, and you want to go again. But if you never been to Africa, just go one time. You know, don't just believe all the hype or the misinformation that you were given about Africa, and that's what's preventing you from going. Because I talked to so many people about going to Africa, and they catch an attitude. You know, like, well, I want to go there. And I'm like, why are you even thinking that? Wow. What do you know? And then they really don't know nothing. So it's like they already against it, but don't know why they against it. They just know they're supposed to be against it. You know, this is our own people. So, you know, just open up your own mind and just go give it a try. You never know what you'll find over there. But I know you're going to find home.
Absolutely, brother. Family, I appreciate your energy, and to our Liberian brothers and sisters, we just we keep you in our prayers and keep the faith the best for you. But we're gonna use this as a lesson to really kind of just keep doing the work we're doing and keep just trying to make things happen, so we can build a strong African continent that we don't ever see any more of our people begging these people to stay in our in their country, and when we have our own nation to return to that needs our help. So family, it's very, very difficult situations, but that just tells you that we have nothing but work to do, right, brother?
Nothing but work to do.
Yeah.